Welcome back to Combat Sports, and today I know we are a couple days late to it, but John Fury has come out and said a lot of things about his own son, Tyson Fury, and it's just all kicking off and we're going to get into it. But first, importantly, make sure to subscribe and like the video because it goes a long way and it means a lot to us. So John Fury did an interview with Playbook Boxing and he said that my relationship with Tyson Fury is destroyed and it's over because of the people that he has in his team, the people that are just hopping on for a quick paycheck because they're on Netflix and they're going to get a lot of money. They're flying out apparently, 2 days or 3 days before the interview, so they haven't actually been there for the entire account with him. And John thinks that is a very just disingenuous thing to do, which is kind of fair. But the real kick in the teeth here is when John said there is no chance that Tyson Fury can actually do well in boxing anymore. He said he's completely finished, completely done. And he also said he wanted no part of his return to boxing. He wants no part of it in the future either, which kind of just shows how damaged this relationship really is. And it's kind of almost turning into what happened with Chris Eubanks Sr. and Jr. and what happened there. And it's really unfortunate to see this because it's almost like a male pride thing in my eyes. You kind of look at it that way at least, because when you see what happened with Senior and Junior, Junior wanted to go off and do his own thing. Tyson wants to go off and do his own thing. But the kind of hypocritical standpoint on this is John wants to come back and fight Kyle Froch, and he's saying Tyson Fury's done. Is he though? Because when you think about it, Tyson Fury has been training religiously for ever since he did his massive comeback. And since then, he's gone on some breaks, but he's still been training because he needs to for his mental health. John, on the other hand, hasn't fought in God knows how many years. I don't even think I was born by the time he last fought, so that just says it all, and I'm 20. So, but the thing is, when you look at it this way, if John wants to come back and fight someone like Carl Froch or Joe Egan like he should do, which I actually think would be a better fight for him because, John's actually got a chance in that one. Well, chance, a very slim chance, that because even in this interview that we're going to watch in a second, he compliments Joe 1 second, says something else, and then he says he wants 2.5 million to fight anyone, which kind of shows that obviously John wants to come and fight, he wants to go out and fight, so why can't his son go out and make millions on Netflix? It's just so hypocritical, this whole thing with John Fury, and it's clear that his mental health is not there, because if it was, he wouldn't be thinking like this, because he'd be like, damn, I'm being such a hypocrite right now. And he just hasn't clocked it yet in his head. So what else do you want us to do, John? You've got to do your thing. And you've also got to let Tyson do his thing. And you've got to fight Joe Egan. That is just the bottom line. John versus Joe Egan is the fight to make for John Fury. So as you can see here, this is the Daily Mail report about it, and they said my relationship with Tyson is completely destroyed. Emotional John Fury reveals breakdown with son and wants no part of his boxing return after the Gypsy King's retirement U-turn, which we knew it wasn't a retirement U-turn, but we'll just leave that to, getting the headline clicks. You know what they're like, these newspapers. But obviously, he's talked about a lot about the Deontay Wilder fight that's going to happen. Obviously, said after the Deontay Wilder fight, Tyson was completely finished. He gave it his all. And John said that after that fight, he doesn't think Tyson's been the same, which I don't really agree. I think Tyson's just been Tyson, really. And I think since his comeback, it's more of a healthier Tyson. So I'd actually argue that he's now better than ever, and just mentally, physically. You saw how he went in there on the Usyk 2 fight. He still had gas left in the tank. He went back in, he gave it his all. And I reckon in the trilogy, he'd give it even more. And yeah, I think Tyson just wants to make sure he leaves everything in that ring to cement his legacy. And you can't blame him, because I think John's just a bit jealous of the fact that he doesn't have any of the accolades that Tyson has. And he wants to kind of get a quick paycheck, get a bit of money, have a bit of fame, like he's always just trying to hop in on the spotlight when Tyson's fighting. So, look, it's quite interesting. But as we keep scrolling down here, obviously, so my relationship with Tyson is destroyed, as he tells Playbook Boxing, completely destroyed. I'll say it on camera. I've never taken 10 quid off him in my life and never will. Or if you want to do it in the accent of, I'm not great at a John Fury accent. I've never taken 10 pounds off him in my life and I never will. It's just, I love his act. Like, I don't know how it's the Fury family has such a raspy voice. It's so cool. Like, I no disrespect to them about their voice. I just think it's sick. It's kind of like one of those accents. It's like, it's like the Scousers. It's just funny. Alright, and here is my video the other day which I made about it, and I just kind of was explaining that John Fury just isn't okay at the moment. He doesn't seem to be okay mentally, and the stuff that he's saying just is so hypocritical, which means he's just not doing that well mentally, because he clearly just can't see the hypocrisy in his acts, or maybe he just is that guy, he just doesn't care. So, but we'll just give it a quick watch. John Fury's not going to go to Tyson's fight, and I'm not even joking. I think this is the second time now. And it seems like John is not doing the best mentally at the moment. He wants to fight. He came out and said in an interview, Playbook Boxing, and said that he wants to fight Carl Froch. Yet apparently Tyson's too old to fight, which makes no sense because John, you're not his brother, you're his dad, you're a lot older. There's a load of things, along with John talking badly about his granddaughter, Venezuela, and about her getting married. It's just a bit weird. And there seems to be like a lot of things that are going on at the moment in John's life. And I'm going to say this, I think we're going to have to hold it with the John fighting Joe thing at the moment, because it's clear to see that he's not doing that great at the moment. And although, yes, he should fight Joe because it's not a Carl Froch, and I think it's a bit more even, and I think both of them will have an amazing fight, John isn't there mentally to be stepping into that ring. He is not there at the moment, and I hate to say it, and it's clear to see from the interview, it's clear to see from a couple of his comments recently, going out about your granddaughter, about her getting, engaged, getting married, is probably one of the best times in her life, and you're going off saying, no, I don't support it. And it just shows that maybe John isn't there mentally at the moment, and it's kind of becoming very clear that that is the case. But that kind of says it all, really, because when you think about it, John hasn't been doing that well. He's been talking in that interview about his time in prison. It seemed like a very rigorous time in there, and prison's not known to be a nice place. So, and he was also saying he just kept himself to himself the entire time. He had no friends. He was in there for like 5 years, 10 years, something like that, and he's kept himself to himself. So you got to think that time just not doing anything, not talking to anyone, it's going to have a big effect on his mental health. And I think the Fury family have their own little issues. Like everyone has issues. Like, give me one person on this planet that does not have an issue, because everyone has an issue. Even if you go, oh, I don't have one, or I can't think of what, you have one. You definitely have one. And if you were saying you can't think of one, that is probably one of your issues. That is the fact that, you're not self-aware. But that's the thing. And John Fury should not be talking badly about his family publicly. Your family's your family. Your private life's your private life. When it comes to, doing things in public with your family, yeah, of course, you're a star, you're a celebrity. Of course, to a degree when it comes to Tyson Fury. John, when he goes out, yeah, he's going to get recognised. So, yeah, you could also argue that. But when you are talking badly about things that your granddaughter is really excited about, your son's really excited about, and talking badly about it, it just doesn't leave a good taste in their mouth. And for anyone really, even your fans. And I just really hope that John can, make this situation better, go back to them, say, sorry, I didn't mean to do this, didn't mean to upset you. I'm just very annoyed, you need to listen to me sometimes, because I don't think, you at your age, Tyson, should be fighting. But if you want to go off and do it, I can't stop you, because I also want to go fight. But can I just say, please go for, people that, will be a bit easier, Can you maybe just seal it off with AJ and then do some money grab fights or whatever? Just make it in a sense where you're being a bit more supportive. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think John Fury's relationship with Tyson Fury is over? Because I think it could be. This could be the beginning of the end, because John Fury and Tyson Fury are two very, not sound weird, but alpha males. They walk in the room, they're gonna, as they say, when two lions are in the room or whatever, they're gonna fight. So the thing is, what happens now, I think, is gonna be John should apologize, you know, take back what he said, say, you know, I shouldn't have said that, just something, just to amend the relationship. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this relationship is over and done with? Because it could just truly be over. Because we saw with senior and junior, it can happen. But it also, we have seen with them, it can be amended. So it really is a case of that. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.